people of Manipur have felt that we are being, neglected. We are being given very less importance by the government of India, and it will only help the people of Manipur to feel being abandoned or being neglected by the New Delhi. So this is not a very good sign and not a very good message to the people of Manipur. So we want the government of India to take some earnest action so that some visible actions can help in resolving this crisis. Otherwise, the people of Manipur is not going to, remain silent from now on.
Our demand for Union territory under Article 239A is still intact, and until and unless this demand is met, we will fight for. We don't know how long it will take, but we will fight for it. And the idea of peace will come automatically, and peace cannot be enforced. It has to come, and justice has to come before it. And once our demand is met, free movement and peace will come on its own. That is our demand. Thank you.
Amid beefed up security and shutdown calls, people in Manipur, particularly in the Meitei dominated valley region of the state and parts of the hills dominated by the Kuki-Zo-Hmar community, have been observing the 2 years of ethnic violence that had rocked Manipur. It was May 3rd, 2023, when the spell of ethnic violence started in Manipur that lasted for months, with over 250 people dead, thousands of people displaced, and many people still missing. Since February this year, Manipur is under President's rule. Its Legislative Assembly now kept in suspended animation, and after the President rule was imposed in Manipur, there was a crackdown against illegal weapons. People were asked to surrender the weapons looted from the armory of the armed forces, particularly the Manipur police, during the heights of the violence in May, June 2023. But what is important to note is that in these 2 years, there have been several instances of smaller flare-ups with fatalities and injuries on both sides. In fact, the central government had tried on several occasions, and even now there are efforts on to find out a way towards bringing peace in Manipur. Both the communities and particularly civil society groups representing the communities have been asking for justice. They have their own sets of demands, while the 10 of the Kuki-Zo-Hmar MLAs in Manipur of the total 60 have pressed forward, along with the civil society groups, a demand of a separate administration, a union territory for the Kuki-Zo-Hmar areas. The Meitei groups and the Meitei MLAs have been demanding that center should not compromise on the territorial integrity of Manipur. While center has decided now to completely fence the porous borders with Myanmar, there have been crackdown against rebel groups as well. However, while efforts are on with back channel negotiations with the civil society groups so that a lasting peace can be brought, there are lot of hindrance, lot of hurdles still to be crossed to bring peace in Manipur. On the second anniversary of the violence in Manipur, in the Imphal Valley, the civil society groups have called for a public meeting where the demands were reiterated, and likewise in the hill areas, particularly areas like Churachandpur, Kankopi, dominated by the Kuki-Zo community, the civil society groups have organized meetings where the demand of a separate administration was reiterated. the stand of the two communities are far distant from each other. That's becoming a major issue for center to bridge this gap, to bring these communities again together and to pave a road towards peace. But what has been the real challenge is that over 50,000 people who have been displaced by this ethnic violence still languish in over 300 makeshift camps arrangements that have been made. The Meiteis who have fled from the Kuki-Zo areas cannot perhaps immediately go back to their native villages, and in the valley areas there is no Kuki-Zomi population left. They have again gone back to their dominated areas, and it is very unlikely, at least in the given circumstances, that the Kuki-Zomi people who used to live in the valley can return back. Many have lost their livelihood, their lives, their livelihoods, their homes for once for all, and perhaps they're still looking for an alternative. People who have lost their dear ones want justice, and in this situation Manipur perhaps is still looking forward to a situation where there can be a meeting point between the aspirations, the demands of the two communities, and civil society groups from both sides are asking center for more proactive steps. Even as 2 years have passed, the situation has improved, but normalcy, justice and peace is yet to return back to Manipur.